system in the new D&D, but it's just kind of like your home or a base that you improve throughout the game. Because I'm very excited about the Bastion system and want that, like especially at lower levels, maybe by level 5, we want everybody to have like the start of their Bastion, and then beyond level 5, we can work on improving the Bastions and making them super dope. But
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So we know that we're going to be like in the city, but what is going to be like the story of it? Because if we're all like adventurers joining an adventure guild, then I would assume that would be our Bastion. If there are going to be some kind of serendipitous isekai level events where it's like, oh, you fuckers are standing in the street, you go deal with this shit now, then we'd all have like separate Bastions, and I can think of it differently. I don't know if you had an idea of like what the start is gonna look like.
So yeah, I'm not sure exactly like how many details I want to give you guys. What I can say right now is we're gonna, like, the first session, maybe 2 sessions, kind of introduce problems, maybe issues in the city, and eventually you guys are gonna work up towards like doing grandiose plots, like maybe, I don't know, what's a good example?
Well,
maybe
sure, I don't need the specifics of that. I mean, like, why are we the ones who are fixing issues in the city? That's the part that I would like to know. Like,
okay.
is that only due to our personal interests and we happen to meet other do-gooders, or is it like there's some crew or decree or something?
Yeah, I would say I will do my best to tie like the story into your guys' backstories so that like say there are like maybe 3 arcs or 3 main evil bad things happening. Those will be all tied to various backstories throughout the party. And I mean, like, you guys know from the descriptions I've sent about the city that the god of law in the city is Bane. Which, like, out of game, you guys might know that Bane is the god of like tyranny.
Right.
And so I guess without like spoiling too much, there's probably like the government is quelling dissent. Like, people don't want to act out, so
Gotcha. So we're the ones brave enough to start changing things, basically.
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Seems
I'm not
accurate
really
from
sure
all
what
the...
other option there is for a plot when you're doing the whole thing in a city. The government has to be the problem.
yeah. There will be other problems, but even when, like, I don't know, I have a couple big ideas. Even when something big might happen to the city, the government, perhaps the corrupt government, is still going to be working with that and doing their corrupt shit. So yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to be a huge part of everything. Yeah, so that was a good question. Hopefully that gives you enough to go on. You kind of get what's going on.
Yeah, it does.
Cool. But yeah, so I don't want to know where your character currently resides, so that like in session 3, a dragon could come and like raise all your homes. But just like, I think it's really important if you guys are gonna choose a bastion, like you see like this posting like, hey, go clear a haunted house, and then like maybe Luke's character is like, I want this to be my bastion. I think it's important to know, like, where's Luke's character coming from? Like, why does he want to take over this haunted house, or was haunted house, and turn it into his bastion? But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm probably gonna have to read this article thing about the Bastion to get a better idea of things. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty in-depth article, but I think that's good. Well, okay, maybe it's not as in-depth as I thought.
I'm going to the try this one.
Are you looking at the D&D Beyond one, or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the D&D Beyond post is pretty cool. They actually use some of like the same pictures, I think, in both articles. I'll just link that also in the example character. Okay, there's 2 links there.
Both related to this and to changing my favorite place in the city.
Yes.
What libraries are there in Alimus?
So, yes. I would say the main library is, I'm not sure what the name of it would be, but it would be kind of like a temple to Agma, the god of knowledge. And people who worship the god of knowledge are going to be the caretakers and librarians in this big library. And then I think other smaller libraries would be more focused. Like this is all agricultural literature that is taken care of by followers of Chaunti, the goddess of agriculture, stuff like that. But the main library would definitely be it's kind of like the main Agma temple and is taken care of by the followers of the god of knowledge.
How do you spell Agma?
Oghma.
Would it make sense for my guy to reside in like some kind of apartment attached to or some quarters within the library if that's a thing?
Yeah, I feel like followers of Agma would be kind of like monk-esque. And so perhaps there's like minimalist quarters close by, or it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you like we've got this, they might call it a house, but it's just like, there's a bunch of rooms in there. And like you can live in the house, it's just down the street from the library. I mean, however you think makes sense. That makes sense to me, yeah.
Okay, that's probably what I'm going to put down as my current residence.
Something about the Bastion rules is it says it offers like mechanical benefits like magical charms, but it doesn't list any other examples or have a section about it. Is that just up to between you and the GM depending on the space available, basically?
I don't know. I haven't actually like read that section in the PHP, but I have it right here, so I can let you know in a second.
Okay.
Because yeah, I'm assuming it's stuff that they want behind a paywall. Or yeah, maybe it's in the DMG.
I'm gonna just Google the PDF version of the Dungeon Master's Guide and read the whole chapter real quick.
DM's toolbox.
GMbinder.com.
Do you have a specific name for the library inside of the temple?
I do not, and if like Luke would want to come up with the name of the library, he can, or you guys could work on it together, or I can come up with it. I just haven't come up with that yet.
If Luke doesn't have one, ChatGPT decided to name it the Scriptorium of Echoing Thought when it didn't come up with a name.
I don't think I had.
Victorian is kind of a cool name.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't put down a name of that one because it was more of a common thing, if that makes sense.
I'll leave it up to you, Luke, to come up with something if you'd like, since that's more pertaining to your backstory.
You had it as Scriptorium of Echoing Thought?
Yeah.
It's not a bad one. I like Scriptorium.
That is a cool word. I've never heard that word.
Oh, it's a whole chapter in the DMG. I'm just really bad at reading the table of contents, I guess. Garrett, what was your original question about Bastions?
I'm also reading the chapter because I want to know about the mechanical benefits that a place could offer.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the-
it really depends on like the room. So for example, I'm just gonna pick a random one and kind of let everybody know what that room does. And hopefully it's a good example of. So, oh, sick. We'll do gaming hall. So it's a level 9 bastion facility, and you would have 4 hirelings running your gaming hall, and so bastions you issue orders to your bastions. It's like what's going on at your bastion. We'll just say it takes a week to do an order. I'm not exactly sure. And so when you order, you're like, hey, we're conducting trade in our gaming hall. Yeah, it's a week. You roll a D100 and determine how much winnings you get from your gaming hall.
So they do have it listed out. That's awesome.
So Garrett was asking about like other stuff you can get. Like for example, another level 9 facility is a greenhouse, and it has a fruit of restoration feature. So one plant in your greenhouse has some magical fruits growing on it, and when you eat a fruit, you get a lesser restoration spell.
Damn.
And if you don't eat the fruit within 24 hours, it loses its magic. The plant replaces all picked fruits daily at dawn. And when you order, so that's just like, it just has these little fruits with a lesser restoration, which is cool. And the order harvest on it creates a healing potion for free. Or there's a poison. You can make a poison for free. Wow. Okay, that's cool.
I see.
What's that? Garden edition thing?
Greenhouse.
Greenhouse?
Yeah, Garden is a level 5 bastion facility. Greenhouse is a level 9 bastion facility.
Are there any libraries near the woods?
I mean, I would say probably. What would be in a library in the Woods District?
In the woods?
I would imagine like more druidic type spells and magic, or like that kind of
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah, like a library maintained by an order of druids or something. So it would be a library about like
You know what
potions,
it is?
alchemy.
You know what it is? It's the fucking nature learning center at a state park. That's the
Yeah.
library in the
gosh.
forest. You'll learn about wildlife and shit.
I'd also think that that's kind of like if there was any research on Fey magic, or like the Fey Wild would be also situated in that place. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that would be that kind of information would be kept at temples of like Fey deities. Probably.
But I'm thinking like along the lines of like nature magic, nature stuff.
Fey magic.
Like nature magic, nature stuff. If there's Fey magic involved, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I think there would be something like that in the Woods District, and then maybe for deeper research, like there would probably be really great texts at the Academy, which is one place where I want to spend like a mini arc of the campaign at least, of where you guys are like at the Academy. Maybe you're like sponsored to audit classes for a semester or something. But however it is, I think that'd be really cool. Just another random note, as we're talking about these bastions, I'm planning for this campaign to take place over the course of like years, so there will be a lot of downtime.
So the bastions will do a lot.
Yeah, I don't want it to turn into like economy simulator, so we'll see. We'll deal with that as it comes. But
Artificial business again.
yeah, I think it just makes sense for things to progress in the story. Like whoever's scheming in the city, it's not going to be like Bane's people do an evil thing, and then a bad dragon comes, and then like a beholder attacks, like all in the span of a month. All the stuff is gonna like take a lot of time.
Okay.
One interesting thing I saw was like it was more of a thing in very like original D&D editions. You can have the game like follow actual real life time, which is kind of interesting. I think there's some cool things you can gain from doing that, but I don't know if we will do something like that. It just
That
seemed
seems
interesting.
Too difficult to do accurately, though.
Right, yeah, and like, yeah, with the whole calendar thing, I feel like we probably want to be hand wavy, and it's like sometimes we will spend multiple sessions in 1 week, and then sometimes we'll have like a couple month jump in time before something
Right.
like crazy happens. Yeah.
You mean complete opposite to what it is currently? Where we've been in
Where-
the nine hells
Go, go,
like
go.
the last, what, month maybe, probably? Or a couple of weeks?
In like 2 hours.
No, even your last incursion into the abyss, like from the heavens, it's been like 4 or 5 days.
Gosh.
But yeah, that's crazy. Like going through the void, House of Cards, then yeah, all of the Obox Ob fights, like bang, 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 and the Huntress and Baphomet. Garrett, I think it's funny that you and Josh, I guess we're both visualizing the city approximately the same way, which is opposite to the way I have always visualized the city.
I'm pretty confident you had said something about the sea
ocean
being
in
on
the
the
east.
east at some point, and we both just stuck with it.
Maybe.
But like specifically, I've always pictured it when we've talked about like the ability that I have or my ability to swim. I've always just pictured myself looking to the right on the screen, like motion that way.
that's funny. I do think one random neat thing with it being on the west is like sunsets over the ocean, you know. But
Counterpoint: a sun rises over the ocean and sets in the beloved harbor of Alimus.
What if it rose behind the mountains?
like rises in the ocean and then sets in the harbor. Is it just an island? It's got ocean on both sides?
No. Sorry, I'm talking about ships coming home.
Oh,
you're sailing
yeah, the
into
ship see
Alimus.
it. Yeah, the
You're-
sun's setting over the city.
Yeah.
Okay, that is cool.
Ah, there it is.
Okay. Tom, do you have a Google Doc that you can share with me yet?
I do. I'm in the process of trying to figure it out, but like I have gotten like some stuff down. I'm just
Okay.
trying to make connections and trying to read over it. I will.
Yep. Yeah. No worries. You can just share it with me when it's convenient, and you can let me know if you have any particular questions.
Okay.
And Andrew, I just renamed your doc, so it's easier for me to know who it is. You can put your like character's name in there whenever you come up with a character name. Or
No, I want you to be fully confused on which one is which.
you just make it the most generic name.
No, my name
You know,
is
Alimus character
Alamos
is pretty dang generic.
My name is Alamos character.
Hello, Mr. Character. Are your initials NPC?
My name is Jeff.
No, it's APC. Oh shoot, forget that already.
Are we doing ASI on feet in this campaign?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not like, I don't even know if I'll have that decided when we start the campaign. But I will think about it. And maybe
If we have this much downtime planned, then I would be. I'm usually gung ho for both, but I'd be okay just doing an ASI if we can learn feats with downtime.
oh yeah, yeah. I definitely want you guys to be able to like, yeah, learn maybe proficiencies over downtime. And I think D&D 24 has a decent amount of downtime rules. I don't know. I don't want to glaze it too much because I mean, Wizards is kind of crap, but downtime. Now I'm gonna read the downtime stuff in the DMG because I'm curious.
Oh, beware, Isaac, you spelled the sun god wrong.
PHB. So I saw you were putting, yeah, I would put Lathander. Oh, I put the U. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would call him Lathander. Amanator is older edition version of him, which I still like Amanatar's lore, but I think it makes sense to call him the Morning Lord or Lathander.
Lathander, okay. I see. At least it's a name that's easy to say. And phonetically actually makes sense.
Lathander?
Yeah.
Yeah, Omanator is a wacky one. I don't know where downtime is in the new books, but 2014 Xanathars has some decent downtime rules we could work off of, as well as the Bastion stuff.
Oh boy, I have so much reading to do, too. How much of the lore of the Sun King or Sun God wouldn't you want me to pull? Is there a certain limitation do you want me to be with it, or?
You could take whatever lore of Lathander you want. I do have certain ideas for various gods and how the pantheon operates and what certain gods' statuses in this particular cosmology. So just let me know whatever you're thinking of and coming up with, and I'll build off of where you're at and make sure that your ideas mesh with my like plot.
Cool. Okay. Ooh. This is where I should have started. Wait, who are everybody else's deities?
Sahani the Moonweaver.
Okay, so
Do what now?
I'll put it in the Discord.
Thanks.
But, like-
Is it on the dock somewhere, or did I miss it?
What doc?
Oh, okay, that's not on there. Like the ones that have seats on the council.
Oh, she does not have a seat on the council.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait,
Definitely
what?
not. No.
Tom, I already think your backstory is pretty based.
That was the best thing to hear.
Your favorite place is in the lower districts, and the least favorite is the upper districts.
Valid.
That is pretty good.
I don't like the upper districts either.
I don't mind them.
Great.
Which is ironic since this is a Pearl campaign or urban campaign.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think
Um,
I have a pretty good reason that's semi my own fault for not liking the upper echelon.
I think it makes sense to have a disdain for the upper district for certain people. But it is kind of interesting because a lot of like the
Yeah.
huge temples are in like the upper district is the high terrace, which is like full of temples of the gods, and then also upper echelon. So maybe like specifically disliking upper echelon, rich people or government people, whatever.
Do you think
like my
monasteries?
character like views them as like the people up there very snotty
That is
and
He's differentiating between
very
yeah.
the
valid.
upper echelon and the upper level.
Do you think where do you think monasteries would be, Isaac?
So I think, I mean, there is a particular monastery on Mount Fear, pretty high up, and it's kind of separate from the city. But in the city, there would definitely be like an order of monks. I feel like somewhere in the Woods district makes sense. Um, and honestly, probably like a dojo or something in Central Alimus. In those ones, like there's going to be a like a coliseum or arena in the middle of the city. So I mean, those guys might be like big into fighting. And then I don't know, maybe there would be some monks by the port somewhere as well. But I think definitely one by the woods and one in like a fighting focused one in Central Alamus. And then maybe there's like monks outside the city, like in the farming hamlets. There could be uh, some monks that just do a very pastoral or just agricultural life. So yeah, hopefully one of those sounds cool for you or works with your character. Because I do feel like naturally, like there wouldn't be a monastery in the high terrace, where it's kind of like super elevated, pointing to the gods. I think a monastery like place would be more humble
Mm.
and downstated. But because I do see you're thinking about high terrace.
Mm-hmm.
There
Even
could
if it's
definitely be a
maybe-
monastery in the high terrace. I think we just want to have a reason why it's there.
Yeah.
Maybe it follows a certain god or
Yeah. The sun god has a whole list of temples, and I'm trying to see if I can find one that would bestly fit in that area and have some lure behind it.
ooh. What if there is a monastery in like very close to the port, or like the skyport is on cliffs overlooking the sea? What if it's like just below the skyport? There's this monastery looking over the cliffs, and they always see the setting sun. And so there's a monastery there to the sun god, looking out over the ocean and the setting sun.
Ironically, kind of wanted one that was higher tier, like kind of like very exclusive, kind of like how monks are, but also very like I feel like the sun god is very like separated from everybody and feels highly, if that makes sense. Or do you think it's
Yeah, so I think if it's really close to the skyport, that works really well because in my mind, the skyport, like it's up on cliffs overlooking everything, and it's going to be very well guarded. One of the most guarded places in the city. You don't want just riffraff getting into the skyport where you have like ships that literally fly for whatever magical propulsion. Like those things are going to be guarded. And so yeah, a monastery looking over the cliffs makes a lot of sense.
Cool. I'll look for one that makes sense.
So I would just say like by the Skyport or in the upper district. I'm not yet sure if that's like the high terrace goes up to the Skyport or the upper echelon is right next to the Skyport.
I feel like the upper makes more sense because what you're describing, what the higher terrace is, where like it's like almost exclusively gods and nothing else.
Yeah, because I kind of think like there's Central Alimus, it's like the main part of the city. I think High Terrace would be central and overlooking Central Alamus or Alamus proper, and then maybe upper echelon wraps around the High Terrace, and then on the east side of upper echelon is going to be the Skyport, where the cliffs are.
Do you need to come up with a place for Kelemwar's and Titania's temples?
Yeah, I do not have a location for those yet. I think Titania's would probably be in the woods.
Okay, then I would probably would that temple probably have a library about Fae stuff
Um,
or like Fae
yeah,
crafting magic?
it would have something along those lines, definitely.
Okay. Then I would probably live right next to that one. Just Temple of Titania right now.
So the Temple of Kelemvor, I am not sure yet. Because I kind of alluded to Kelemvor in the example characters backstory. How like his least favorite place in the city is a crypt where his mother's body was interred. Because the judges said that his mom wouldn't be buried with their ancestors at a graveyard ran by priests of Kelemvor. And then, so, yeah, I feel like Kelemvor's temple would be pretty neglected. Like, maybe there was a temple to... I think there would have been a temple to Kelemvor in the High Terrace, and there is no longer. Whether there's, like, a smaller temple in Alimus proper or a lower district now or something, I'm not entirely sure. And who, if like there was a temple,
where would the graveyards be? Because
so
the temple next to the graveyards.
I think the old graveyard would be outside the city, to the south, somewhere around the farming hamlets. There's just like a huge graveyard, and then, in recent years, people have been getting buried in the undergrowth in a crypt, and there are all sorts of reasons why, but it's, I mean, the graveyard is just going to, keep expanding and taking over land. You can just bury people underground in a crypt, save space. There's all sorts of reasons why. Yeah, hopefully that helps, though.
Do you think there would be a small temple out there? By the graveyard?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like by the graveyard? I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, like there was a temple to Kelemvor in the High Terrace, and is no longer a temple to Kelemvor, and the main temple to Kelemvor is just by the graveyard now, like outside the city. I think that is perfect.
Okay, cool. By character overview sheets, are you just talking about like everything for a character so far, or like sheets that we can share with our party members?
Yeah, the character overview sheet is like filling out the things from the example character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you
Yeah.
want to fill out like an actual character sheet, you can start doing so. But like I was telling Andrew when we first got on, I don't think we will put these characters on Foundry until after our current game is done, because I want to
Okay.
upgrade Foundry to a later version, and yeah.
It will break
I already
everything.
have my character built in Roll20.
That's funny.
Nice.
I forget. Are we doing point buy or standard array, or rolling?
I think we decided.
That's a good question. Let me look in the.
I think we should each roll a stat. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, I don't know if that is
God.
decided for this. Blah, blah, blah.
I
'Cause I did
planned
mine
out
based
standard
off of-
array.
Me too. I don't mind changing it though.
You did it based off of what?
Standard array.
Yeah, I mean, if you base it off of standard array, that is totally cool. If we decide we want to allow point buy in the future, you can change it if you want. But standard arrays is totally cool.
Nina, your character's like from the Feywild 2 or something, right?
Yes.
What was like? What's your character?
My character is a Shatterkai elf.
Oh, okay.
With divine lineage.
Ooh, divine. Well, that's fun.
I'm gonna be a blade singing wizard.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah.
So I think, were we planning on having our characters connected somehow?
Yeah. I think we probably would have come across each other in the Feywild at some point. I'm not sure exactly when though.
So you're a Shadar Kai, and I'm a Harengon, so I'm a rabbit.
Okay.
Rabbitus.
Hmm.
I don't know. I was raised in the Feywild, and I lived there for I don't know the exact timeline, but something like 200 years before going to Alimus.
Dang, okay. I think it'd be kind of semi-fitting for there to be like, I'm not sure what the word would be, but like something of like an exodus almost, or like planned migration groups from the Feywild to Alimus, and that maybe we met there, kind of, or you're considered going with like the first group, and my family went with the first group, so you like talked and hung out with us, but you didn't come yet, and then you went later on or something.
That's definitely a possibility. I have to double check for how that may interact with a backstory element.
Yeah, that's
Would
fair.
that be okay?
I was
For-
not paying attention to what.
For our backstory only, if instead of immediately running to the material plane after that happens, if I wandered in the Feywild and then ran into Paragon's End and then moved to the material plane, does that make sense?
Hang on a second.
I have a specific event currently that triggers my leaving the Feywild.
Hmm.
Those are messages to me.
Isaac, question.
Yep.
Oh, what exactly, like, is there anything, like, particular, like, up in the upper echelon area besides, because I'm, like, looking at, like, the dock right now of
Yeah.
places of interest, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, what all exactly, like, would be located in the vicinity of the upper echelon.
Yeah, so in the upper echelon, there's the Alimus Academy is up there. Government buildings are up there. Buildings for like residential buildings for government officials or very well-to-do people are up there. And yeah, Nina, we talked about the Alimus Observatory before. The observatory is slightly up the mountain, right? Is what I told you. It's not in the upper echelon. It's like outside.
I think so.
But yeah, so
And forever.
yeah, that's all right. Government buildings, residential for rich and government people, the academy, and I guess something else. Is there anything else you were thinking might be there, or?
Oh. I'm still thinking about the backstory thing with Luke right now.
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
good. No, I was Tom. Was there like something in particular you were thinking about for the upper echelon, or you just wanted to know?
You may have been offset this already, but like, is the how do you say this? Tantu Academy, like, is that up in the?
Yes, the academy
Upper
is
area?
in the upper echelon.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. That helps me with my draft. Thank you.
Cool. All right.
Is there much of a difference between central and middle Alimus?
So the middle tier is Central Alimus or Alimus proper, the Woods District, and the main Alimus port. So are you guys looking on the wiki, or
I forgot that I could do that actually.
are you just writing down stuff? Districts.
Intro.
Yeah, I'm gonna update the city districts thing a little bit.
Aha! Okay. I was looking at your map that you had sent.
Oh yeah, the map is like 85% of what I'm thinking. I have a few qualms with it, but the Copilot AI was not taking suggestions. It started hallucinating like crazy when I asked it to tweak the map.
Yeah, it's not. It struggles with that.
But the initial image was honestly not bad. So yeah. I never opened Luke's backstory. I don't know how much stuff you have added today.
Not too much, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably everything you already knew, I think.
Yeah, I do. I was looking at Agma stuff and your guys' talk. I think the Binder's Rest is a pretty good name for the library.
Yes! We succeeded.
the
question is,
calling it
am I
the
going
what?
to be referred to as one of the Ink Sworn?
The Binder's Rest. Because I was looking in his divine realm is called the House of Knowledge, but Agma's like his knowledge domain is also a lot about like spoken tales and like oral history and you know the stuff of bards. So I think the Binder's Rest really enforces like, hey, you know, these books are sitting and resting in the library, and that's just like one facet of his domain. And he also blesses like bards telling tales wherever. But yeah, I think Binder's Rest is very good.
His knowledge has been bound, or whatever.
Yeah.
Put it like. So we can chalk that one up down as good.
Oh, found one. Ugh. Spires of the Morning. Cool. Isaac, I found a place.
Cool. Is that on your document?
Yep.
All right, I'll take a look at that. Cool. So you want that to be a temple and monastery that is situated on the cliffs on the west side of the city?
Yep.
Cool. I like that. Yeah, pink marble, that's and capped by spires of copper, gold, and silver. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's kind of like a tower, too. It's 3 stories. Cathedral.
Yeah.
But it also has 300 clerks in it.
Dang, that is a lot of dudes.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious, do we have like a timeline of the history of the Alamos, or not really?
A timeline?
Yeah, like history of it.
I think you would have heard various stories, and like I want to tell you guys all a story in the first session. I know that of certain parts of the history of Alimus. I don't know what kind of history are you interested in?
I was more of just curious if there was any.
Yeah, I don't have like a set timeline to like share with you guys.
Do you have a date? Like the first day date?
No, I have the start of a calendar made. I don't know what like year it will be. Because it will. Although, yeah, that does get me thinking. Like, I should, with the story I have, I should be able to come up with what would be year 0 and then what the current year is. So I will let you know. I will work on that.
I think you have all of my documents now, Isaac.
Sweet. Yep, I do want to, yeah, once I get all of your guys' goals and your like dreams, if incorporate that into a little visual note that I have, it's like make sure everybody's goals are incorporated in the story that is to come.
Isaac, do you want to go to my sheet and scroll all the way down?
Yep.
Which one do you think I would be?
Wow. That is a lot of titles for Clerics of the Morning Lord. I mean, I feel like you would just be a dawn greeter. Just like you are someone who is pledged to the Morning Lord, but I mean, you're level 1, like you haven't completed a particular task or anything. You are an aspirant of the temple or the monastery. And wow, a title of the cleric can be Morning Lord or High Morning Lord. I feel like other faiths would say it's blasphemy to just claim a name of your god, but that's funny. So the High Cleric is called the Sunrise Lord. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sunrise Lord.
Do you have any recommended friends or enemies that I should have?
So a good note for the enemies thing or the rival thing is I do want to have like a sort of rival group. So if all of you guys have a rival, or at least most of you have a rival that could all have a reason to team together, and you guys are both sometimes working towards similar goals in different ways. Like, I don't know, I just think it'd be really cool to have a group of NPCs that grows in power with you and kind of parallels your journey. And sometimes you guys may clash or work together, just depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
So, for your character, I don't even know what like the opposite of
I know it
like
is.
someone who worships the opposite of the sun. I don't know.
I found it.
Or-
Sharans.
That's true. If you wanted to be like someone who worships Shar, you can. I don't think Shar would have a temple in the High Terrace. I think like because Shar is like kind of an evil god. But there's going to be some people who worship Shar in the city.
So,
Hmm.
the sun god doesn't like undead.
It could be a reborn person, then someone who someone who's literally undead, or like a Dampier, like a part vampire.
Mm.
You know, just
Oh,
someone who lives in the city and is doing their thing, but they're undead, and you're like, you know, I don't like you because you're undead. I think that would be pretty legit.
definitely a vampire, because that would be that would be completely opposite of sun. Basically.
Yeah, yeah. Which Dampiers like they don't have the whole sunlight versatility. Don't just like wither away in the sun. But here, yeah, I'll type out Dampier underneath there so you know how to.
Daywalkers.
Spell it.
But that's like an actual
What?
race you could play. Um,
What the
it's
frick?
basically like somebody who was bit by a vampire. I actually had in my little game I did at Beta Sig. Some of them got bit by a vampire and their race changed to Dampier. That was kind of cool.
God.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like you get to climb on ceilings and stuff. I think it's just a strict upgrade from some certain things.
Yeah, I just need a connection.
Hmm. Well,
Almost.
yeah. There's both Josh and Garrett's guys follow a moon goddess. Nina, does your character still have like such a connection to an observatory, or did that part of your backstory kind of get replaced with other stuff?
That part of my backstory got replaced.
Okay. Um. Uh, let's see what Tom's backstory looks like. Ooh, nice.
Um. I'll, I'll post it actually like on my sheet. I'm just working on like the draft right now, but like I'm
Oh, sure.
narrowing it down to like an idea.
Okay, yeah, I see. Like you're thinking about being connected to the god of nature, which is pretty cool. Um, and okay,
Yeah.
okay, and Andrew, you said that perhaps, at least for your character, is the woods. So maybe, like, you had to go to the woods for whatever reason, like the monastery sent you to go get an herb or something, and maybe Tom's guy was nice to you and kind of like a bright presence in the woods, which you typically think of as like a darker um, district where there's less sunlight. Maybe Tom's guy felt like a light in the woods. I think that would be a cool connection.
Yeah, we could do that. Do you want to write that in the sheet? Do you want to write that in the document, Isaac?
Yeah. What was that, Andrew? Sorry.
Do you want to write that in the doc?
Yeah, I will add that to a little connection thing. Tom, does that sound like a good connection for your character? You were in the woods. Yeah, so you were in the woods for whatever reason. I mean, being connected to Sylvanus, the god of nature, I feel like that makes sense. And you helped Andrew's character find a medicinal herb in there, and so he felt like you were a light in that district that he typically feels is like a darker place where he doesn't get to see the sun very much.
Okay, gotcha. What's your character, Andrew? What's your class and race?
I am a monk sun soul, and my race is a dragonborn gem.
Okay, gotcha. Do you reside in the woods as well?
I do not.
He does not like the woods.
Okay.
I keep hearing somebody's Discord and it's not mine. And I'm assuming it's Isaac, and I think it's me. And I check and I'm like, ah, it wasn't me.
I just heard that Discord thing.
I think it might have been me then.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've checked my like I swear Discord is not doing notifications on mine,
That's funny.
and I have headphones on, so it would have to be coming out of a monitor for you guys to hear it on my mic. That's weird.
See, I always assumed it was your second monitor, but it might be like that might make sense.
Yeah, I was a little worried it was coming from one of my monitors, but I swear I checked, like double checked that it's not doing that.
Oh man, I am so passionate about that backstory. Like,
Awesome, dude.
I'm, I'm, I've, I've been spending like a lot of just recently, like a lot of mental energy, just trying to like come up with something grasping,
Nice.
but also at the same time, like I want to try to like focus on like other things too, like connections. But this might it might take me like a little while to like do like a polished version of my story because I have stuff cooking.
I'm excited to see what it is.
Like I do have an idea. I'm just trying to polish. Oh gosh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I can't wait to share it with you.
I found my friend slash ally, Isaac.
Sweet. So it's like a cleric.
It is
Okay, a cleric pretty high
specialized.
up in the monastery.
It's a specialized priest in under uh Larathan, Lathardan,
Lathander.
Lathander. Ooh. And that person oversees the spires of the morning.
Okay, cool.
Which
So she oversees it. Maybe she was pivotal in helping get your character a place in the monastery.
mhm. the this bottom half at the bottom
Yep.
of the page. What are your thoughts?
I think that's cool. It is very open ended. I think it like your character wants to know what's going on with him and
Mhm.
what's up with his past. So I think that's a pretty good spot like for your character to be at the start of a campaign.
I want a lot of mystery.
Oh, sick, Tom. You guys gonna be a Goliath? Goliath? That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do.
So before I hop off for the night, do I think Andrew and Tom, you guys just have a connection with each other's characters right now?
Mhm.
Do we want to figure out connections to other people? Like Luke, your character only has a connection to Nina's as well, right?
Yeah. 'Tis true. My guy's just a little lonely bunny.
So, I mean, anybody looking for knowledge, frequenting a library or something, perhaps could have a connection with Luke's character that way.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty easy connection, honestly. Nobody likes learning here.
I mean, I would say that you've probably run into me because I tend to hang around Adriana a lot, but I'm not necessarily a seeker of knowledge myself.
That's fair. What's your class?
Bard.
Okay.
But
So you
like
tell stories, though.
a dumb bard. Like,
Oh.
he's a storyteller, but not high intelligence.
Do you happen to like to sing at different taverns and stuff? Or are you a different kind of bard?
Don't sing. I'm a poet and a storyteller. So
Okay.
I might have looked into a little bit of history once or twice, but most of the time I'd probably only go in the library because Adriana's there.
That's fair. That is fair. So you'd probably know me more adjacent from her than anything, because she would already kind of know me from the Feywild.
Right. And I had met her in Alimus some time ago and was just like, yeah, sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't know if that counts as like an actual connection, but
Yeah,
recognize each other.
they know of each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're that dude that's always around the dark eye.
If you want, I can give you another connection. If I... Let's see. You are going to be a sorcerer? Is that right?
Theoretically a warlock if everything goes well.
Warlock, fuck. Okay, sorry. What is your interest in history and knowledge?
I need to know more about my family, basically.
Okay. Hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if that ties in with storytelling bard super well, to be honest. Actually, you might have told stories about me. I have a roach that's my pet. People would make fun of me a lot, so I don't know if maybe you were one of the guys who was like spreading rumors about the dirty rabbit who hangs out with bugs.
I don't know if I'd spread rumors, but if you tell me... Yeah, actually, if you want to send me any information about what you know of the Feywild or of your exploits in the Feywild, I'll write either a poem or a tale about you.
I was born in the Feywild and was there for like until I was 5 years old, and then I left with my parents. So I have no feats there. Aside from being bored.
Good job on being bored.
Thank you. Were you a sorcerer, Andrew?
I'm a Sun Soul monk.
Oh, I kept hearing Sun Soul, so I kept thinking it was sorcerer. But a monk, that's right. Because you did talk about monasteries.
Yep.
Well, would you guys ever need something to get written, like be written down? Or do you guys do it all yourself?
I write myself.
Yeah, he could have been like picking up, not just
Yeah.
like scribing materials or something.
Because that would be...
I'm
That'd be
curious.
me.
I think I would want to be going to the library to research about my own self.
That's fair.
Also, Luke, I would know your character from the library. I would visit the library all the time.
Yeah.
So,
When Garrett said you were going there, I was like, oh, okay. I guess we didn't really necessarily need to have the Feywild contact. That we
Right. Yeah.
the Feywild connection is cool too.
Yeah.
So for Andrew's character with Luke's character, because you're a Crystal Dragonborn, maybe you were going to the library looking for stuff about Crystal Dragonborn, and it is super duper scarce. And Luke's character is pretty knowledgeable and was able to help you find some more obscure resources, whether in the library or even like outside of the main library. He's like, hey, come here. I think this little temple to Bahamut might have the stuff that you're looking for or what have you.
No, yeah, definitely. I'm practically an expert in Dragonborn stuff. Or at least attempting to be one. So yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. You are a Dragonborn?
Yes.
And yeah, if you're trying to learn more about your own kind, totally we'd probably connect about that one.
Either it's my own kind or information or more understanding of the cosmos effects that happen.
I think my specialty is probably more with the Dragonborn specifically, so I can help you out with that.
Okay.
And of course, your general pursuit of knowledge in the cosmos, I'd help with what I could.
If any of us have a knowledge of the cosmos, it's Josh. Granted, he's a little more interested in the stars, but he's like frustrated by them. That doesn't mean he doesn't know anything about the sun, though.
What's your character's name, Andrew?
It is Dawn Greeter.
Dawn, like D-A-W-N?
Yeah, Dawn and then Greeter as one.
I thought that's your title. I didn't realize that's your name.
Yep.
Nice.
Greeter, like a door person who greets someone?
Yep.
Okay. Is that your actual character name or just like the literal title?
No, that's the actual character's name.
Ah, cool. And you're a Crystal Dragonborn?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Dragonborn gem, which is particularly crystal. The subclass of crystal.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 3 types of Dragonborn, right? Chromatic, metallic, and gem.
No, there's 5.
5? What are the other ones? What are the...
You gotta get it too.
Is Ferris a type? I thought that was like a D&D 3rd edition thing.
Alice? What?
Ferris, like iron. It's a different type of metallic dragons.
I never heard of that one.
That is it. That's a pretty good phallus dragon. That's nice.
Pretty sure they have some of those in Rick and Morty.
Oh, it's.
Oh yeah, I need to watch a new episode of that.
Amethyst, crystal, emerald, sapphire, and topaz.
Yeah, those are the types of gem. Just like there's 5 types of metallic and chromatic. I was saying like the 3 like main categories are chromatic, metallic, and gem.
What category does void fall under?
I don't know if those ones have a category.
Because there's Shadow Dragon too, I think.
Oh yeah, there's hag dragons. Those things are
Really?
dope. Oh yeah,
Dragon turtles.
that's true. Dragon turtles.
Huh. So I guess there is like an etc. category.
Yeah,
Dragon D's nuts.
Oh gosh.
those ones too. So I did. There's one more thing I just added to the example character. It's not like a huge thing, but something I want you guys to think about and fill out before the first session. And I will post it in our Alimus chat as well. And it is just I want you guys to all have an answer to the question: why is your character in a hole in the wall tavern in the middle of a Sunday afternoon? And you could even be like just me loitering outside the tavern, but generally like around a random hole in the wall tavern in the middle of a Sunday afternoon.
Ooh, I just thought of a great idea.
Are these answers supposed to be public or private?
Oh, oops.
You can put it on your
Okay.
example character sheet or just send it to me.
Well, mine is public.
Went and cracking the. That's honestly really sad.
You're starting to remind me of Minsk with Boo from Baldur's
Yes, the
Gate.
hamster.
It's like
Yeah.
Boo.
That's amazing.
I have 3 left, Isaac. The ideal Bastion?
Yeah.
What does that define? Like, what are we doing for that?
It's literally just like your bastion is like your character's home or like home base. So I mean, it could be whatever you want. Like as a, it's a good example of like a, I don't know, maybe just like in a state on the coast where you can see the sunset. Could be an ideal place.
Sorry, what Tom just said.
Yeah. Just the goblin. Not a goblin. The
The
goblin.
goblin.
And then
He ran through the wall.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
and then a god to dislike or fear. Would it probably be one of the vampires or?
Well, an easy one could be Shar, the evil goddess of darkness. She's most often the antithesis of Josh's character's goddess Seluna, but the moon goddess. But definitely an enemy of Lathander, the Morning Lord, as well.
How do you spell that?
What?
How do you spell that?
Yeah, you spelled it right.
Oh. Wow. It actually made sense. And then last thing, the blessed / flavorful items.
Yeah. One common and one uncommon item.
Oh yeah, I don't know what to do for my uncommon.
Like, does it need to be out
you guys can figure that out.
Out of the like item list that exists?
Yeah, out of established 5e items.
So I have to find a list of 5e items.
Go to 5e.tools.
Okay, Wikidot, what you got?
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna head off. So have a good night, everybody.
Cool.
Indeed.
Good night.
Good night, peoples.
Bye.